I say, yo, y'all already know who it is, man. It's Chris Jackson, Prince Up Top, last real nigga alive. Hey, look, I got some fresh meat in front of me, man. This time around, I really got a chance to see this dude's growth, and he really got a chance to kind of shock the world just with his skills alone. Like, he didn't have any gimmicks or anything like that. He didn't have anything that's gonna make you like, wow. He just used his natural given talent, which was his voice. And, you know, that always can be appreciated in the game. So I got none other than one of the coolest motherfuckers on the planet. My nigga Sincere. What's good, bro?
What's good, yo? Hey, I appreciate you for having me here, man. It's an honor to be here, for real. I've been trying to tap in with you for a minute. But, you know, I'm a person that believes in timing, man, and the time was right. So here we are.
Oh, for sure, man. You've been grinding, bro. So I've been seeing you working, my nigga.
Man, it's been an incredible journey, man, you know. It's a long way coming from starting off in 2019, now we in 2023.
Yeah, man.
It's been a great and incredible journey. A lot of bumps in the road, but we definitely gonna get into that.
Okay, so before we kind of tap into the music, man, let's take a stroll down memory lane a little bit, bro. Like, before the music, you know, you were kind of like this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kind of guy. You definitely started the family life a little early by signing up to the military, kind of going on like that right track, if you will. Talk a little bit about your upbringing and, you know, how you were raised.
Okay. So, well, man, I'm from the one and the only Mount Vernon, New York, man. Born and raised. If y'all know, if any of y'all real New Yorkers out there, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Yonkers, y'all know exactly
Shout
what
out
it
the
is.
Locks.
Yeah, I know exactly. Shout out
Feel
the
me?
Locks, shout out DMX, shout out all them niggas, man. You know, shout them out. But that's where I'm from, man. You know, born and raised, and you know, I was born and raised and lived up there for about 15 years of my life. We came down here when I was like, I want to say like 16, 17. And at that point, we came down here because, you know, it was just bad up there. I was getting into a lot of trouble up there. A lot of fights, you know. I had wanted to get stabbed up there. And so, you know, we came down here just like to transition everything. I never was a bad kid. Let me put it out like that before, you know, people have their opinions of me. I never was a bad kid. You know, I always had straight A's and B's. But, you know, even with being a good kid, people knew not to fuck with me, man, because I'm just not one of those people, like, I'm not going to come bother you, so don't come in my face, you know what I'm saying? So when we came down here, it was kind of like a fresh start for everything.
Okay.
You know, parents was good. They had me at 16, though, you know, teen parents. My dad was one of the best football players that came out of Mount Vernon High. You know, he had a chance to, you know, try out for the NFL, but he blew it, you know, because he went the street route.
Okay.
And, you know, that kind of just ran into play with things, with how things played out in my life. So, you know, that ran out, and then we came down here, and like I said, I finished high school out down here, and I decided I wasn't gonna go that route. You know, the route was presented to me, but I didn't want to go that route. So I decided I'm gonna join the military. It's something I always wanted to do since I was younger.
So this was right out of high school?
This was right out of high school, man. I was only 18 years old, man. Matter of fact, I signed up when I was 17. They had me gone when I was 18.
Oh, you did the ass vab and all of that shit? Yeah, they got your ass right.
They got me when I was like, when I was a junior. They came knocking at my door.
Gonna be all you can be.
I promise you, they was like, yo, Uncle Sam wants you. And, you know, it was one of those things where I'm like, well, you know, shit, I'm gonna sign up, and I think this will be a good thing. But I think before we get into all that, people need to know, you know, that originally I was going to college to play ball. I did get a scholarship. You know, I was a football player for a portion of my life, and you know, I did get a chance to go to school and play ball. So I signed up and was supposed to just be shipped off immediately. But I wound up going to school for a year. Then I came back after they shipped me off. You know what I'm saying? And so I've been here ever since. But I'll tell you about the whole college journey as we get into everything with Chris, man.
So, aside from that, you also kind of went the family route as well. But you were involved with someone at the time?
I was. So I was involved with this girl, man. You know, we just think about it. You know what I'm saying? This brings back memories. Yo, my high school sweetheart, Omaida. Nice, I'm talking about bad Spanish girl, you know, Puerto Rican. I had a thing for Spanish girls. I'm Puerto Rican myself, like half anyway, so I guess it's in my blood, right? But yeah, man, me and her was real tight, and it's just when I knew I was gonna join the military, this whole thing of me joining, she didn't want me to be away. She didn't want the whole long distance thing, and so unfortunately, that had to come to an end. So yeah, I was dating that Spanish. I was talking to the Spanish girl. My homeboy talked to her first, though, man. Stupid ass bet. I didn't make my move. He made it first. So what can I say? You know what I'm saying? But we got to the point where, when he made his move, obviously she went with him. But this nigga just started putting his hands on her. You know what I'm saying? He's putting his hands on her. I remember she came to school marked one time, and I never seen her like that before. This was a couple months down the line after this whole thing started. So I approached her about it, like, yo, what's up? Like, why you all marked up? And she goes, and he putting his hands on me. I don't take kindly to putting hands on women, especially, a beautiful woman like that. She gorgeous skin. Like, what are you doing, bro? So, fast forward, she starts confiding in me every day. And, we starting to get close. And so before you know it, not gonna lie, I snatched bro's girl right out under his nose. And she told me, like, it's for good reason. Like, one, she was fucking with me because I'm a real dude, and he was just putting his hands on her. And I never was like that. I always made females feel safe around me. So I remember one day we was outside of school. We was walking home. I walked home every day after school. And this nigga was following us. So I turned around because he thought he was like, how somebody try to hide while they tailing you? He tried to hide while he was tailing us. So I turned around. I'm like, yo, bro, I know you out there, bro. Like, I see you. So I turned around like, what's up, man? Like, why are you following us? And he's like, oh, I'm sick of this shit, bro. Like, I can't believe you would do that. You took this girl from me. I'm like, bro, you putting your hands on her, bro. Like, she left you for good reason. So he got sick of the shit. And we threw hands in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I used to fight, so it still was in me. So I left him laid out in the street, not gonna lie to you, and walked away with her. So you got beat up and still didn't get your girl back, bro. So it just didn't make sense. And so me and her was close ever since that day, but it hurt me real bad when we had to break up because I joined the military because she was going, this was my senior year. She was gonna go back to Puerto Rico. Okay. I'm going to the military. So we had to break it off. Okay. It was sad, man. Really, really sad. But I will say this, man. If you're out there still and you see this, I promise you, if you're not with nobody, the door is always open over here. You do got a home forever because, like I said, we came close from that dude putting his hands on you, and I would never do that to you, even to this day.
Look, if you hear this, this nigga basically begging you at this point. Back, you feel me? He basically begging you. Please holla at this nigga. Come back. What I'm saying? But that's crazy, So you start this journey in the military, and where did we start to more so focus or cater towards the music? Okay. And how did you build up that confidence to say, you know what, I'm finna do this shit?
Well, music's always been in me, man. Always been doing it since a young age. Got brought up in church, the typical church boy. I'm a musician at heart. I played the drums and all that, but started really getting into it in 2019 when I came back from, I was in a whole nother state. They had me training in a whole nother state. Mm-hmm. I was gone for like a year. Came back here, from Virginia in 2019. Boom, COVID hit. I had no choice but to be, that shit was crazy, man. We were stuck in the house. People had curfew, they at one point.
That shit was wild.
It was crazy, man. At one point, they was considering martial law, I think.
Yeah, they was making motherfuckers mandatory. You gotta take this motherfucking vaccine. Like, yeah, that shit was getting stupid, bro.
Yeah, I mean, they forced us to take it. I actually have a card that they made me take it because they said if we didn't take it, we'd get kicked out. We'd lose all our benefits.
Honorable discharge.
Yeah, some of us would get put in jail for this shit. So, yeah, it was just a lot of nonsense, man, But as far as, like, when I got back here, and really started tapping into music, that's when we got locked in the house. There was really nothing to do. Right. So it's like, I'm in the house and I didn't have anything to do. So my mind naturally just wanted to be creative. I seen people making songs about COVID on TikTok and shit. That's when TikTok started really popping. So, I look on TikTok, I'm like, man, I could do this. I could write a song about COVID. That ain't nothing. And I had never written a song before, like, fully. But I was just like, let me try it. And so I did, and I'm like, you know what? I feel like I can actually write my own music. Let me try to do that. So, you know, I'm experimenting with different things. I could probably pull up some videos or old videos of me like writing freestyles and stuff, because I started off doing like rap. And I was like, you know, because I was always a poet, so I'm like, I can write. That's no problem.
So that's where the illest come in at, right? Yeah.
That's where the illest comes in. In case y'all didn't know, whenever I feature on a track with somebody and I might have a part where I'm going to spit something, the illest, Sincere the illest is what's going to be on the track. If it's just me doing some vocals, then you're just going to get Sincere.
Oh, that's
it.
what's up.
And so versatile with the names.
That's what's up.
But yeah, man, the whole thing of me writing my own music, that started there in COVID. And then I moved I moved to another place, another location here in Tampa in 2020, and had roommates. And all four of us, it just so happened, all of us did music. So it was like my calling card, like I knew it. I'm like, this is what I need to do.
Yeah, that's how the universe works.
I promise you, I would try to get away from it. Like I thought I was gonna stop when I moved, but they always like, yo, I do music. And the dude wound up saying, yo, I know somebody who owns a studio, bro. And it was my first time actually going to one. I've never been to one in my life, seen it on TV and in movies, but never been to one myself. So when I went in there, I'm just like in amazement, because I'm like, damn, like look at the panel, look at everything. You won't believe it, but I didn't even know what the booth was.
Shit.
Like when I went in there, I'm just like, you told me stand where? The booth? I'm thinking he talking about the room. And he's like, nah, it's a whole nother room with, you know, the mic and all that. And so we get on the track, and you know, I started writing a song, and I started singing, because I was just like, man, I sing. I'm like, let me try to sing. And I didn't like my voice at first, but the more we kept running the tape back, I got
shit sound hard. You like, ooh.
I'm like, yo, that shit sound good, bro. So he's just like, yeah, I think that's what you need to do, because they knew I was trying to rap, but they was like, bro, to be honest with you, singing is your calling card, bro, because they was like, we heard you, and they was like, you could rap, but like singing, just that's what's it for you. So got on the track and started singing, and like I said, we heard it over and over, and the next thing you know, man, I was back in there like the next week, and I recorded SNA Anthem.
So I'm glad you brought that up, right? So it's funny you have that story,
right?
Only to make a song about the side anthem, right? Now I've listened to the song. Yeah. I've shared it a few times. I got it played in a club a few times. Now it's a dope song. Now, at first when I heard it, I didn't know this part about you. You feel me? So I'm just thinking you in character. You feel me? But this is a real story. So. Yeah. When you were doing this song, were you just channeling that situation, kind of just saying, you know what, I'm gonna write about my personal experience at this point?
Honestly, I was, because the story did happen. It was definitely something that happened, and I'm a person who writes off of experience. I couldn't make that up. Like, you can't make that up. I described the female in the song, the 5'6" slim fit Puerto Rican. I described it.
To a T.
Yeah, to the T. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure she knows who I'm talking about. So if you hear this, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about.
Okay, Keith Sweat.
I promise you. But yeah, man, the story, just a quick one. She was a married woman. I had no idea. I'm not like that. I do not mess with married women. I'm just putting it out there before y'all be like, oh shit. I don't mess with married women. Never have, never will. But on this one particular girl, I had a crush on her in high school, way back. You know, thought she was real bad, and she was. Still kept her figure, even when she got out. So to make a long story short, you know, fast forward years later, in like 2020 is when this happened. So, you know, we meet, I see her again out in public. I'm like, damn, you know, I'm not even gonna say her name out of respect. But I'm like, yeah, that's what's her name. So I go out to her, no, hey, remember me? You know, we having a casual conversation. And then we get into it, you know, one thing leads to another. I get her number, we hang out. So, of course, you know, naturally when we hanging out, it just builds attraction. So, obviously, we wound up sleeping together. At the time, I had no idea. She did tell me she had kids, so I did know that. But what I didn't know is that she was married, and here's how I found out. She was in my bed one night, you know, got up to go to the kitchen to fix herself something to drink. And her phone, she left it in the bed. So, you know, I'm laying there and the phone starts vibrating. Name across the screen says hubby. So I'm like, yo, this chick is married, bro. So I get the phone, I go to the kitchen, I'm like, yo, explain this. Like, who's calling you? Because at this point, we just dealing with each other. So I'm like, you want me to be honest, right? So you be honest with me. Who is this? And she goes, oh, because she was caught. Oh, you know, I meant to tell you, but you know, that's my husband. We getting out of divorce right now, though. The divorce is being finalized. But I'm like, yo, it's not even about the divorce being finalized. Like, I've been fucking you this whole time, and this dude is in the military on top of that. Is what made it worse. So I feel like I betrayed my brother because I'm in the military. I'm like, and you didn't tell me. Like, you know, I don't care if you're getting divorced or not. At least give me a heads up, and I would have been like, yo.
For sure.
Right. So it was kind of foul. I felt bad, and so I ain't gonna lie. I told Shorty she gotta get out. So I dropped her back off home, you know, and she blocked me, and that was that. And yeah, man, that's why I said the next week after that, I went to the studio, and it just had been gnawing at me. I was away, out of town, that week for training, and it had been gnawing at me while I was away. I'm like, man, I gotta write a song about this shit, because this shit crazy, bro. You didn't tell me nothing. And here we got SNA Anthem that came out.
That's what's up. That's a dope song. I kind of want to switch gears here.
Yeah.
Now, I was introduced to you by way of K. Roof. In fact, a lot of people were introduced to you by way of K. Roof. How did that relationship kind of build?
Me and K. Roof. Well, started with me just seeing her on Instagram after I released SNA. You know, I just read stuff on YouTube where I was like, yo, you want to tag people and have them promote you and stuff. So, you know, I just wound up coming across her page. I don't know how on Instagram, but I did. And something about her page intrigued me. So I hit her up. Like, yo, you know, do you do promotion? If so, how much? And she hit me back and was like, yeah, you know, I do that. She's like, how about this though? Let's meet. I sent her the song, she heard it, and then she was like, let's meet. So I met her, you know, and then we started getting into, you know, talking about much more than just promotion. That's what it was supposed to be. But it started being much more than that. It was like, so what can I do for you? And like, how can I help you move on, you know, to the path of success in music? So long story short, we get into it, and it's like, all right, you're gonna pay me this amount for my service, and then in turn, I'm gonna help you do this. And so, of course, you guys were introduced to me at Lyrical Cafe. For those real ones that been with me since day one, y'all know me from Lyrical Cafe when she brought me out. But as far as the relationship between me and her, you know, it was pretty good. And I'll never speak bad on the things that she did for me. But, you know, eventually all good things must come to an end. It didn't work out because I felt like I wasn't really getting the things that I needed. And like, I just felt like my money could have been elsewhere, you feel me? Like, not even to be no rude way, but I just feel like my money could have been used in other senses, you know? Just having a budget for her, and then having the budget to do things that I wanted to do with myself and my music, it was just too much. So I'm like, you know what? This got to come to an end. And unfortunately it did. I wish that it didn't come to end on bad terms, but for some reason, those people did not want to end the right way. It was just like a whole, oh, you fake, you know, you switching up. And this was after I was all introduced to everybody. When everybody started knowing who I was, that's when I left. Because I'm just like, at this point, I don't think I need to be here anymore because people know me. It's not like they don't know me now. And so it just was a continuous like, oh, you fake. And so I just left it alone, man. And up until now, I mean, it's been quiet. It really has. You know, we've had our little run-ins with each other where I see her in public. And, you know, got to give her credit as an artist. She keeps doing her thing. I'm not going to discredit her with that. Definitely does her thing. But, you know, we just couldn't do business together, unfortunately.
Yeah, like I said, with that relationship, I was able to kind of find out who you were and being able to kind of explore that option and availability. So I was in there as a point of like just seeing who the new talent was. So I always got a chance to see the new talent. if there was a situation, you couldn't tell that there was a situation. It was extremely cordial.
Right, we never let it be known.
From the outside looking in. And like I said, I thought it was an amazing relationship because I was able to see you grow. In fact, like I said, that's how I was introduced. So whatever it was that she was doing for you, hell, that shit worked because there was a lot of people that was like fucking with you at that time prior to, you know, like you meeting her. So I didn't know who you were prior to that. So whatever it was, she definitely did whatever it was that she said she was going to do to be able to make you at least a standout or a household name in the city. Now, I imagine that you kind of went a different direction. And how did the relationship between you and Shorty Rock kind of come about?
Well, yeah, man. After I branched off from K. Root, it was just kind of like I was independent. I still am, but with help and an agreement. So with that, I was doing my own thing, you know, just going to shows and still putting my face out there to let people know, like, yeah, I'm still around. Even though I'm not with K no more, I'm still here. So I got introduced to Shorty by way of Essence Stars videos shoot. I went there and, you know, I met him. I never knew who he was, but, you know, when he introduced himself to me, you know, we had a good connection. And being that he's from New York, too, it just was natural. So, you know, we started talking, and, you know, he never mentioned, like, oh, I'd like to work with you at first. It was kind of just like, yo, you know, let's see what we can do with each other.
So more of a relationship
right.
than anything.
Right. And so it wasn't until, like, recently that, you know, I guess we both was, like, on the common ground of, like, yo, I think we could both bring each other something to the table if we have this agreement. And so, you know, I looked over everything with GDE Management. That's who I'm with now, by the way, signed to them. And, you know, it just seemed like a great fit for me. So here we are, we're signed, and now we're ready to go, man. We finna roll things out in full action.
Oh, that's what's up. I'm definitely proud of your success, man, in that relationship. I'm looking forward to great things. So now that you kind of have representation, what can we look forward to from Sincere moving forward?
Man, I'm so even with music, the way I do R&B, I'm taking a different approach. I know when I first came out, it was more like, you know, club songs. You know, you got songs like Birthday Wishes that came out. That's like a birthday celebration song, or you can use it in the club, however you choose to. I've had it used in the club plenty of times. Shout out to DJ Young Young for playing my
the
shit.
best dressed motherfucking DJ in the game, you bitch, you.
Hey,
my
you know
dog.
I'm coming for you though. You already know. Me and him got this little competition with each other. And he always be like, damn, this nigga Sincere, every time he come out, man, he just always, but, you know, I fuck with him, man.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Yeah, man, for real. And you know what? He actually is what's going in a step forward as well. He's a part of what I'm doing. But as far as the music aspect for me was concerned, I've taken a whole different route. I want to bring back that old time R&B that we had.
Like 90s hip hop.
The 90s, 80s,
love, yeah.
right. You know, Jodeci, just to name a few. You know, those kind of people, Blackstreet. I want to bring that back. And so I actually have a new song coming out, by the way, in August called Poison. I will send it, you know, to Chris, and if he would like to share it with you guys, he's more than welcome to do so. But I've definitely gotten great feedback off of that track. I just performed actually at DJ Young Young's anniversary, and they were blown.
I seen the footage. You got busy.
Yes.
You got busy. I think I told you that.
I think you
told
did.
you that.
You did.
I called you. Mm-hmm.
You were telling me. You was like, yo, that's pretty dope, man. And it's just dope to see that people. I seen different reactions. Like, you know, people really miss that kind of music. It's just dope to see that when I came off stage, these hardcore rappers coming up to me talking about some, yo, I need you on a song. You know, shaking my hand, asking me for my Instagram. I had got about like, I think, no lie, because I'm not an exaggerator, I got about like 15 people out of there that night that followed me. So it's like, and then, you know, this guy that does movies and stuff, he called me earlier today and was like, yo, you know, I wouldn't mind having you in the film. So I'm just like, you know what, man, this is where it's moving to. So we full speed ahead right now.
I like that. So before we get out of here, I want to ask you some questions, okay? What's the biggest setback that you've had to endure thus far in this game?
In the music game in general?
In general.
Man, I done had some grimy people I done worked with, promoters, you know, and it's sad. It's really sad. You know, I fuck with Tampa. It's been good to me being here, and you know, as y'all, I'll just, you know, go ahead and get it out now. You know, I will be leaving from Tampa permanently in July, man. The Army is putting me in Cali, so my adventure continues on in Cali. And since I've been here, though, you know, and been in the music game, it's just, I noticed the promoters here are kind of like crabs in buckets. Not all of them, but the ones that I've worked with, it's just like, you know, they just all about self. And it's like, as an artist, as someone who is trying to get up in the game, I feel like you need to be, as a promoter, pushing the next person. That's what you do. You promote, which just means you push.
Right.
So you're supposed to push the artist in a positive light. And I feel like I've worked with some people who have held me back, you know, and I'm not going to name their names because they know who they are. And they're going to see this video, they'll know my face. And it's just crazy, man. I just really wish that things would have went differently, you know, because I've lost money messing with bad promoters. And even with this video guy I had, you know, I lost until I had to wind up, and I don't really like getting like this, man, but I had to call some people to get my money back from him. I don't like getting like that. That's not me, it's not who I am.
Right.
But it's like, bro, took $1,200 from me. You know what I'm saying? For a video that I never got. This man told me he lost his camera equipment on the plane, on the way to Tampa, and that he's here, but he's gonna wait for them to fly it in. So we wait, and he never, you know, never sent me the address, none of that.
Damn.
And this was when I was like really not thinking. I was still, you know, immature, and like in the music aspect, I was just like, yeah, let me just send this nigga a deposit, and then he said, oh, you know, just send the rest. So I sent him the rest, and you know, he got me.
The rest is history.
Wanted to get my money back, you know, like months later, but he got me. And that's the biggest setback I think I had, was like just trusting people. There's a lot of snakes out here, man. I heard Cali Kush say that on an interview. He's right. A lot of snakes out here, especially here.
Okay, so look, before we get out of here, what's the biggest advice you can give to the up and coming artists in this game?
I got 3 things, man, I can give y'all. One, I would say is like know who you are. The music industry will change you. It will try to change you, but you gotta know who you are to the core. All right. If that's what, if you're not a rapper or a gangster rapper or whatever, don't be that, because then you're gonna bring everything that comes with that. People are gonna be expecting that of you. So if you act like that in your music, that's what people are gonna think you are. You're guilty by association. Number 2, be smart and learn the game. Like, this is exactly what they said. This is a game. Games have rules. Games have obligations. And so you need to learn the game. Like, when I say learn the game, learn how to read contracts. Learn how to register yourself. There's a lot of artists out here who are missing out on a lot of money because y'all are not registered. And y'all are saying y'all are music artists, but none of y'all are registered to have things out that are saying like, hey, this is who I am. And then I would say the last thing, and this is the most important thing, is make timeless music. There's a lot of people out here that just make music just to make it. And I understand, you know, music's therapy. But if we're gonna make music that people can be like, damn, I remember that shit like from 20 years ago. You see how long Drake has been around? And everybody, he knows who Drake is, man. Drake started off as that kid in the show, right? You know what I'm saying? Just that actor that we knew. Now Drake is still around 20 years later, still doing his thing because his music's timeless. And that's what I'm aiming to do. Timeless music.
Look, so before we get out of here, man, drop them socials, let the people know where they can find you at and shit.
Absolutely, man. Look, check this out. You can find me on every platform, anything that you go on. Except OnlyFans.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet.
Hey,
Coming
look,
soon.
I appreciate you sliding through, fucking with the platform, bro.
Sincere, the illest. Every platform, man. SYNCERE, not SI.
Gotta get it right.
SYNCERE_DA_illest. Yours truly.
Hey, that was dope.